Bullying and lying, Spanish mothers fighting for their daughters, for their daughters, for their daughters. One is missing, one is the bullied girl. Then it got gory and really messy. What a monstrosity and spectacle this movie certainly was. Piggy was written and directed by Carlotto Peretta, who did the short film Piggy that came out a few years ago. And yes, this is the full-length feature of the story from that short film. And boy, what a spectacle this movie is. This is certainly something that is a goddamn trip from the beginning, throughout the movie, and to the very end. Wow, this really is one of the most absorbing, yet, oh boy, does it get gory, does it get messy, does it get uncomfortable, boy, does it ever. I'm not going to say it's the most wholly original movie that I've ever seen. Goodness me, when this movie hit its peaks, it really, really hit its peaks. Laura Gallen, and by the way, this is Spanish with English subtitles, so if I mispronounce any of the names, I do apologize in advance. Laura Gallen played Sarah, who is a bigger girl. She works in her parents' butcher shop, and she's the bullied girl. Okay, I'm done doing the song references, except I'm totally not. She is very socially awkward. She lives with her parents. She works in the butcher shop. She just wants to study. She wants to listen to music. She wants to watch porn on the internet. Who doesn't love watching porn on the internet? I know I certainly do. Always delete your search history, by the way, so you don't figure out, oh boy, people are finding out what I like to watch from Germany and Spain and other countries, and let's just move on hastily from this. So she's bullied by a few girls, and at one point, they try to net her in this pool. I'm not kidding. They actually try to do that. There's one that she's sort of friends with named Claudia, that she's kind of the one that likes Sarah. She does appreciate Sarah. She does value her friendship, but she's also locked in the clique, and instead of having a backbone, she decides to go along with the bullied girls. Well, somebody witnesses this, and while on a walk home after she gets her stuff taken and gets bullied by more people, she witnesses something that she really shouldn't have seen involving people that she doesn't like. And then from there, she basically decides not to tell anybody. But then lying, even mixed with bullying, even though there was a justification for not telling anybody, the lies continue to pile up and pile up and pile up. And there is a killer on the loose. And that's pretty much the plot of Piggy. I will say right now that if you have been the victim of any bullying for your weight, appearance, whatever, one, I am very sorry that you went through that. There is help out there. Therapist, whatever, there is a bullying hotline, and as far as ways to reach out and get help, there are always people out there willing to help you. Now, in the case of this movie, though, you have to pay attention to the screen unless you speak Spanish. I don't. I took 1 year of Spanish in high school and actually knew more going into the class than I did coming out of it. Beautiful countryside, gotta say that, and Laura Gallant just does great. She does great here. In fact, she's a tour de force. She's pretty much the central focus because she's the character Piggy, bigger woman, which that's the idea. It's not the director, writer, one and the same insulting her appearance. It's using that as trauma to push the story forward. And while again it's not perfect, there are a few pacing issues. Sometimes the story feels a little bit stretched out. It does mostly have a brisk, breezy pace to it. And boy, there is certainly a couple twists in this movie where I'm like, wow, I don't know why they went with that. And oh boy, goodness me, maybe you shouldn't have lied. And oh, we're going with that route. And holy shit, okay, There were a few parts that made me a little queasy. Me of all people that have watched horror movies since I was under the age of 10. Because why the hell not? Why not start early so you're traumatized and then you're desensitized to violence? And this got me. There are obviously other movies that got me way more than this, but it's just the visceral nature and the fact that this seemed kind of real, like you don't know what's happening under your nose. And also, if you're going to bully somebody, maybe you probably shouldn't do that, especially because you never know if somebody's going to be your lone savior. So pretty much what it comes down to is Piggy is a phenomenal movie for the most part. Again, a few issues, but overlooking the minor quibbles, this was really, really goddamn good with Laura Gallen doing tremendous work. I did recognize her from a movie that I reviewed a couple years ago called Unknown Origins. She didn't have as meaty of a part there. I remember enjoying Unknown Origins. It was actually a pretty underappreciated Netflix original. Check it out if you haven't. Like, really, it does the whole superhero thing and turns it on its ear, which is very uncomfortable. I don't know how you can be a superhero with powers when you're turned on your ear. I'm listening to the ground. Ow! But anyway, nevertheless, it does get gory, does get violence. Very good character work. Outside of her, I mean, there's the parents. One, really appreciates her daughter. The other one's a little bit overprotective, like that Britney Spears song, Now It's in Your Head. And then there's a few things that don't quite get sewn up completely. You kind of have to rely on the fact that Laura Gallen is just the central focus here, and some characters disappear, then they reappear. And there are a few loose ends that are sort of tied up. I mean, they kind of implied there could be a possible sequel, Piggy 2, Spanish Flu Boogaloo. Hopefully not. Let's not get back to the Spanish flu era. But it ends up being quite good. It's available on Amazon for a few bucks. Check it out if you would like. I'm going to get into spoilers, though. So that's your warning. But this was well worth waiting for. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so basically, there's a killer on the loose. She witnesses the bullied people that she that were bullying her getting assaulted by this just random killer guy. We actually don't know what his name is. He's seen at a pool. I'm just gonna say right now, she only had one scene, but this beautiful waitress at this pool, Stephanie Magnan. I would like to see more of what she's in. God damn, she looks good, and I mean that with absolute respect. But she's only in there for a little bit, and then we get the excess bullying that leads to the girls being, traumatized and kidnapped, and then they're taken somewhere. Well, then, as her stuff got taken by these girls, and then this killer almost seems to take a liking to Sarah, because he feels because of her confidence issues, he can, bully and manipulate her and stuff like that. He leaves a towel, and it turns out to actually be Claudia's towel. But she lies and lies and lies and lies. The police think that she knows something. There's a father-son dynamic with the police force. The mother defends her, but Claudia's mom, Momdia, as it were, that was absolutely terrible. They're at odds at one point. They get into a bit of a fight. It's actually rather hilarious. Spanish mothers fighting. Very, very frightening. I already did that, but it was funny. And as the police are doing the investigation, she has to lie about the fact that she was at the pool. She says she was at the river, even though, according to geography, there isn't a river anywhere around for a while. But then she realizes, wait, her phone's missing. Her brother suggests a little app that they could use. So she ends up, like an app, like a tracking app, and she uses that to find her phone. Her phone's right by the lair. This killer finds her, drags her into the lair, or drags her near the lair, and he's almost seemingly coming onto her, like literally. Like, this is a little bit uncomfortable. In fact, this is very uncomfortable. Almost an implication that she was going to end up being his protege. Also, there's another side plot about a loose bowl being on the loose. It factors into a car wreck a little bit later. And then we get various, we don't get necessarily stretched out stuff. We get this little side plot of Claudia's boyfriend Pedro, vote for Pedro, knowing that she's a good person and he's sorry that she got bullied, or maybe it's her brother, actually, I don't know. They never really get into that. But I saw the video. Please just help me find Claudia. I don't want to get blamed for this because apparently he's seen as the bad seed of the family. The police then interrogate her. The mother takes her away, but then says, oh, wait a second. While doing laundry, I found Claudia's towel. Please tell me what's going on. Meanwhile, after they get home, just as they're getting home, the dad is getting beaten up by the killer that somehow managed to find her house. And then he slaps the mother down. He's going to go kill the little brother who doesn't have toilet paper up there, but she says no. Then they go away. He scares these other bullies, these guys that were bullying her and chasing her while she was just in her swimsuit on a bridge. Again, don't bully people, you assholes. And what ends up happening? Two of them end up launching over this wall, and one ends up breaking his arm off camera. And then they're driving along, and they wreck into the lone bull, the loose bull. They're running out of the bulls, and ow, it wrecked into my truck. I need that. And then he takes her to his lair, and it turns out that Claudia and one of the other girls, her name escapes me right now, they're still alive, chained up. And then she is going to try to free them, but then they're kind of, hey, please help us, please help us. But then they're insulting her like, oh, you didn't tell anybody. Why the hell wouldn't you do that? What the hell's wrong with you? Don't insult the person that you bullied that's trying to actually help you when they don't technically have to. But you probably should help somebody because it is the right thing to do, even if they aren't the right people. And even if they aren't very good people. At one point, she's escaping while she tried to help them, but then the killer came back and she's trying to get around. We don't get the killer's name, or if we do, it totally escaped me. At one point, there's this foot loose. Oh my god, it's Kerry Von Erich's foot. Any wrestling fan that gets that is going to hate me. And he hands her a knife, like, kill him, this kind of stuff. And then she tries to put the knife in him, but he's like, haha, no. And then they get in a fracas. At one point, Claudia gets her hand shot off because she's hung up like that. Because there's a flummox with a shotgun. And then she just goes nuts. Sarah goes nuts, attacks him, tears out his carotid artery, just kills him and everything. But then she's freaking out because she's mentally unwell because of the bullying and the fact that she just is unwell in general. But she kills him, and he's all dead. Claudia's hand is shot off. She frees both of them, and then leaves. And then Pedro is driving his moped that apparently they have in Spain. Apparently mopeds are really popular, like they were in Luca. If you've seen Luca, you know what I'm saying, except Luca was Italian. Moving on from that, she gets on the moped, and that's it. That's it. We imply that, I guess the girls got rescued. I don't know. Claudia probably bled to death before the police got there. There's a police force of like 2 or 3 people in whatever Spanish village this is in. But goddamn, it got gory, it got violent, it got insane at the end, and it got good. It was very good. The director-writer did great shit here. A+. This may end up being on my favorite films of the year list, depending on how deep that goes. I give out a lot of A grades. This one deserves the A+. Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Recklin. I'll see you soon.